All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? This is Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, coming at you across Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, or formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, and of course, Vetpreneur Tribe. So hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I'm getting my week started nice and early. Going to go for a run and then work on client projects. It was a great weekend. Today, I want to jump on and talk to you about making better social media for business and understanding how to fix low engagement, low views on your social media, understanding why your stuff doesn't always hit, certain things that do make it hit, all that good stuff. If you have any questions about social media as we go through this, feel free to drop a comment or a question, and I'll be happy to answer it for you. All right. So as always, before we get started, all my trainings brought to you by some great sponsors. The first will be Mike's Damascus Knives. Check them out at mikesdamascusknives.com. Unbelievable quality. Handcrafted at Mike's Forge. You can see these beautiful kitchen knives he made for me, complete set. They come in this attractive and useful sheath. He gave me a couple of smaller kitchen knives. These are awesome, very high quality. Mike'sDamascusKnives.com, or you can find it at Mike's Damascus LLC on Facebook. Amazing quality. There's a reason this guy's been on TV. He's just very, very good at making high-end knives for his audience. All right. Also, Tactical CEQ PR guide. If you guys need help getting more views on your social media, reaching out to celebrities for business partnerships, check out the Tactical CEQ business guide. It comes in both digital and printed copies. Message me if you want links. Digital copy is 47. Printed copy is 97. This is a great product for helping you to get more visibility in whatever you're doing. Okay, so let's jump into it. When creating social media, you know, it's always a crapshoot. There's never guarantees, and sometimes you put out stuff and you think this is really good, and then it just sits there dead in the water. Like, it doesn't go anywhere. You don't get a lot of engagement. You don't get a lot of comments. You're just like, what the hell? Like, I put my heart and my soul in this, talking about my morning coffee and my meditation routines and everything. You know, everybody should be checking this out. And what's funny is people will come to me and they'll ask, like, I think I've been shadow banned. I think that there's an active restriction against my account for some reason. Like, I put out stuff and nobody sees it. And the real truth about these situations is that you're probably not important enough to be shadow banned. Let's be real. Your content isn't that inflammatory or incendiary enough to even get somebody's attention at these social media sites. And the real truth is your content's probably boring. So I believe in brutal, complete honesty. So how do we fix this? The first thing to understand is how to create social media that is eye-catching and that starts virality. What is virality? When someone sees it and they instantly share it, or they do a like, or they comment something. And that comes from usually aesthetics. Okay. So the very first thing when you're posting social media and creating it is to have a purpose or a strategy, and think to yourself, what do I want to happen from this? Because oftentimes cause and effect is very important. Understanding what will probably happen is the first component in making good social media. All right. So if I do this, I'm doing a broadcast right now to like all these different places, doing this to Vet Tribe and LinkedIn and Facebook and all these places, right? I know that my friends are going to see this. They're going to tune in. They're going to be like, oh, maybe I'll get a good social media tip from Rob. We'll have a little discussion. We'll have a hang, blah, blah, blah. And some people like Joanne Angelberry Cologne or Lori McNeil will pop in. They'll say hi. They'll add some of their expertise or some thoughts, and we'll have a good discussion, right? This is what people come to expect from me, is a discussion. And I know this firsthand. So when I'm strategizing I'm like, okay, if I go live, this is going to happen. If I put this out there, this will happen. That's cause and effect. That's understanding social media. That's understanding if I do this, this is the natural reaction from the audience. Okay. So when you're making social media or you're thinking about how to create better social media, have a purpose in mind. So maybe you're trying to drive people to your website. Maybe you're trying to have a discussion. Maybe you're trying to just offer value so that people will hire you, whatever. But have an end purpose in mind. Don't just fling from the hip. Flinging from the hip is how you consistently just get low performing content. You need to put thought behind it. Okay. The next thing is to make it look good. So people that have very low engagement or they aren't seeing the, what they feel should be a normal amount of engagement, their quality might be really bad. Making it look good means that you have high res cameras. It means that you create custom graphics that are interesting looking with nicer fonts, bright colors, messaging, strategic spacing. These things are all important for aesthetics, believe it or not. And I look at photos, and I'm now so deep in this game that I look at photos and I can reverse engineer and deconstruct the psychology behind them, why certain colors work, why certain strategies work, all this good stuff. But you need to make your social media look good. Okay. If you're attractive, that helps, obviously. Women are a lot better at this than men. And if you look at women versus men's content side by side, like women will dominate all the time because they just have better eyes for color and style. They just do. Bottom line. Making it look good means that you have something that's so eye-catching or thought-provoking that people are going to check it out. And once they start reading, they're going to go to the end. They're going to go from top to bottom and read your entire message. So, what do we do to make it look good? Well, first of all, we put captions, we put bullet points, we put design elements. All this can be done on canva.com. And it's a lot more than just putting words on a picture. It is putting important words on a picture. So putting stuff that's compelling and interesting. The next thing we need to do, like when people say, hey, I have low engagement, it's almost always three things. Their content's low quality, or it's really boring, or they have a disconnected audience. So that's another one. When I'm troubleshooting someone's social media strategy, I'm going to look at how many followers they have. I'm going to look at how many friends they have. And if they have less than like 500 Facebook friends, that is a huge, huge problem. They need to have at least 3,000 before they get traction. 2,000 is a good start. 3,000 is optimal. And then anything above that is amazing. But you also have to connect with your audience. You can't just attract them, right? And this is a big thing with Instagram influencers because they will have like these giant, crazy amounts of audience members. But if most of them are bots or most of them are fakes or most of them are fake, false profiles, you don't have connection and you can't drive sales to whoever you're working for or with. You need to connect with your audience. You need to talk to them like people. You need to find out like what's going on in their life. You have to create these partnerships. You have to be approachable. Connecting with your audience is very, very important for social media strategy. It's not enough to just show up and fling information at people. You have to get to know Stephanie Treasure. You have to get to know Lori McNeil. You have to get to know Michael Peterson. You have to understand like what they're working on, what they do. Whenever I meet a new person in my audience, I immediately find out like what they do, what their current project is, like what they're working on, and where they're at. And if you discover those three things, you can create value for somebody. And this is like connection one-on-one. If I know where you're at, I can connect you with other people in your area that are high value. If I know what you do, I can give you recommendations for people that are seeking your line of work. If I know what your current project is, I can promote it, or I can reach out to you and say, hey, if you want to work together, I can make you a press release for this. I can write some articles and get more eyes on what you're doing, right? So those are the three things you should really, to create audience connection, those are the three things you should learn: where they're at, what they do, what their current project is. I deal with thousands of people every single day in the audience. And obviously it's very tough to, you know, manage that kind of information. So lists will help, writing down people's stuff, especially if you only talk to them once or twice, like in the span of a few months. You don't need to know everyone, but just know the people that are frequent flyers. That's a big one. So if you have somebody that is constantly checking out your stuff, if you have somebody that is engaging, communicating, creating value for you, reward them because it reciprocates. This is a big deal. And so when somebody came to me recently, they're like, I think I'm shadow banned. Like nobody's checking out my stuff. Nobody can find me, blah, blah, blah. And I was looking at her content. I'm like, well, what value is there to the audience outside of 1,000 pictures of yourself? Seriously. Like if you're just trying for vanity metrics, it's just not rewarding for the audience. And I'm going to say this to women. If your entire profile is the you show and you're just spamming where you had lunch, someplace you traveled to, and then 1,000 pictures of you in the mirror, right? The only audience you're going to have is a bunch of lonely guys and then guys from other countries telling you how beautiful you are. You pretty much just got the simp rotisserie going on. You might as well start an OnlyFans. Creating better social media is about rewarding the audience with what benefits and helps them to grow. Like right now, I'm just teaching people how to do better social media, right? That creates value. But also people are reaching out to me and commenting because they like me or they know me or whatever. But that's connection. Giving personalization, shouting people out, creating value for them, telling people about what they do, helping them get the word out because people will reciprocate. And if you do this long enough to where you're promoting enough other people, the good people, they'll do the same for you. They'll share your stuff. They will comment, they'll engage, they'll do stuff to help your engagement. And if somebody pops in and just smashes a like and they don't have time to like listen to the whole training that I do, you know, once in a while, that still helps me. And I'm still grateful for it. So even little things help, right? So take a minute and just pay attention to these three things. So if you have not great engagement, like you're putting out a lot of stuff, you feel like it's good, go back to those three diagnostics. Okay. We're diagnosing this like your car engine. Is your content low quality? Does this mean like you don't know how to use branding colors? Does this mean that your writing is subpar or not that compelling? You're just kind of putting it out there as quick as you can. Is it boring? Do you speak in a monotone voice or do you elevate and animate your voice and change emotionally and talk a little faster or move around and shit, right? Boring content dies on the vine. And third, do you have a disconnected audience? Like, do you know the people that are reaching out to you? Do you know how to connect with people? Do you know how to create emotional bonding and to be an engaging person, right? A disconnected audience doesn't buy. I'm going to say this again. A disconnected audience doesn't buy. This means you need to be out sharing people's stuff. You need to be commenting on people's stuff. You need to be having conversations online. You need to be a active participant in other people's lives for them to be an active participant in yours. This is a big one. All right. So those are the three main diagnostics of why your social media might not be getting the engagement that you need. Here's some tips. Like these are flat out tactics that will help you to create better social media, especially for business. So the first thing is buy the Superfans book from Pat Flynn. Understand audience reward systems, understand how to give people stuff that rewards them for their time for checking out your stuff, whether it's a freebie, whether it's an ebook, whether it is, something, service, shout out, personalization, whatever. Understand that your audience is here for a reason and you need to give them a reason for checking out your stuff. Write down a list of your 20 to 30 super fans, like the people that are always checking out your stuff or that are actively engaged. Have it on a piece of paper. And when you go live, when you're doing posts, whatever, tag 5 at a time and your engagement will go up. And ask them a question, tag them and ask them a question. So that'll help get conversations going and pop your stuff back up the algorithm and get more people checking it out. For an experiment one time, I did a post about Pizza Hut, and this was such a good experiment because I did a post about how much I love Pizza Hut stuffed crust where they had little hot dog bits in it. And I know it sounds disgusting, but I never got to try it. But from a conceptual level, it looked awesome and it photographed well. And the post just died. Like nobody commented, nobody cared. And I was like, God damn it, this is important. The people need to know about stuffed crust with Wiener Bits Pizza Hut, right? So I went back to it a day later, like it had almost nothing. And I just tagged 5 people. I was like, hey, what do you think of this? Would you ever try this? Do you think this is disgusting? Have you ever had this? You know, and I just asked random questions from like 5 people that I knew and started this whole discussion. 35, 40 comments. Like it actually got traction. And that's how you bring back a dead piece of social media is you tag people and you ask them questions. And then when they respond, you ask them another question. And you just keep the conversation going that way. You'll get some good feedback. You'll get people talking, and then it gets back in the visibility and the algorithm, all that shit. And then more people will start to know about Pizza Hut and their amazing stuffed crust pizza with Wiener Bits. And Pizza Hut, you better bring it back. You better. Okay. The reviews of this product say that it causes severe gastrointestinal issues. I'm willing to risk it. All right. Tips. So bring back dead posts, go back to old content and tag some people in it. You can take a piece of content, find some of your super fans, tag them in some comments or some questions, bring it back. That's a great way to get more people looking at your stuff. Take something, if you have a post or an interview or a piece of media or something that you really want to get out there, grab the link, email it out to your fan base if you particularly think it was moving, compelling, useful, and send it out as an email blast. Pop it on other social media platforms. Hey, I talked about this. You know, what do you guys think of this? And then put the link in first comments. Like the number one tip, always never include a link going outside of the platform in the post itself. This works for LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere. You always need to put your links in a comment, the first comment, always. It's just, everybody should know this. I've known this for 7 years. And the reason is the platforms will reduce the level of people seeing it if you are telling them to go to another platform. This keeps more people glued to the platform. And this is just a thing that's been true. I've researched this to see if it was true, and it is. So make sure that if you're popping an outside link that goes somewhere else, you pop it in the comments, not into your post. And I'm shocked how many people do not know that. That's a very basic tip. All right. Tips. Always have a custom graphic with your social media. If you're not doing video, if you're just doing a post, long form or short form post, have a unique graphic you make on Canva that has bright colors, an eye-catching message, attention grabbing headlines, whatever. Make your stuff look good. Joanne, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Let's see. What else? Oh, hashtags. Shout out to Tammy Girl Linen. Hashtags are more important than you guys think. And I'm going to give you some tips for hashtags. So, first of all, I ignored hashtags for a long time. I didn't think they were that important. I was dead wrong. Okay. So when you're constructing your hashtags, it's important that you mix them up optimally. I looked this up. 5 to 7 is about right. And right off the bat, believe it or not, the type of hashtags you choose have to do with your business model. And so if you have a business model that can only service people in a small geographic area, let me give you an example. Let's say you walk dogs for a living or you detail cars, right? You do something where you cannot service people outside of your city. Your hashtags can then be location based. So then if you live in Ohio, let's say you live in Akron, then you would hashtag Akron, because that way people in a localized area will see you. And I call this a geographically constrained business. Now, that's the only time you should really use location hashtags unless you're trying to market to a bigger area. So for example, I live in San Diego. So my hashtags, if I want to appeal to local audiences, I'd hashtag San Diego, I'd hashtag SoCal. Okay, because I can service people all over the globe, but once in a while I do make San Diego specific content, especially on LinkedIn. So that is where you should use location-based hashtags. Now, the next type of hashtag you should use is industry specific. So Tamara Romeo just popped up. Interior design, office design, high-end design, living spaces, office spaces. These are all great hashtags because she needs to pop in some industry specific hashtags. Joanne Angelberry Cologne, spirituality, best self, universe, tarot, astrology, things that are unique keywords that would appeal to your ideal client avatar. So for me, whenever I do content, I do stuff that's related to PR and visibility. So I do PR, celebrity, interview, media, television, newspapers, things like that. Now, you should also hashtag your brand. So I do warrior strategist, tactical CEQ, stuff like that. So whatever your company name is, if it's short enough, you don't want if you have a long ass company name, you probably shouldn't hashtag it because it's inconvenient, just to be honest. Shorten it up. So you should have like 2 for industry, 1 for your brand, location based, depending on who you want to market to. That's the only time you really need location based. And then any types of keywords that are your client or customer avatar. People don't think like this, which is why I'm glad I can share this information. So for example, if I want to work, this is psychology behind the hashtags. If I want to work with higher end people, right, I'm going to hashtag the types of people I want to work with. So I'm going to do stuff like owner, manager, CEO, vice president, founder, maybe entrepreneur, author, coach, whatever. But by doing these hashtags, these will match me up with the people that are more likely to see it that I want to work with. Okay. If I want to be, Melinda says, say that last part again. Okay. So when I'm doing hashtags, I will create them in alignment with the person I want to work with. Okay. So I'm going to pick out specific titles that imply status. And obviously this isn't a perfect science, but I say, try this and see what it yields. Because sometimes it works really well. So you want like for me personally, I want somebody that's at a higher status, CEO, vice president, manager, owner, founder, coach, author. And then if I want to get really sneaky, I'm going to start doing high-end professions because I can do PR for anybody, right? Visibility stuff. So I'm going to put lawyer, doctor, dentist, real estate broker, land developer, like people that have more money than time who actually make very good clients. You know why? Because they will fling a bunch of money at me and say, hey, Rob, fix this problem for me. I'll be back in like 3 months. That's the perfect client. Set everything up, set expectation and boundaries. And then the only time I ever have to bother them is to say, hey, can you get on TV this Tuesday? Hey, can you appear in this feature? Hey, can you get interviewed tomorrow? That's the perfect relationship for me anyway, for business. So hashtags can be used for a lot of cool stuff to get your content in front of the right people organically. Now, that's hashtags. So I'm going to summarize really, really quick because this is new to some people. Have 1 or 2 for industry. Have a couple for the type of person you want to attract. Have a location-based one if you're marketing to a certain location. And you can have, if you just do one, like let's say I do a cooking video, then obviously you can do verbs for whatever it is that you're doing. Cooking, you know, what type of food I'm cooking, food, dinner, chef, Gordon Ramsay, what the fuck. So just apply your hashtags with that strategy. Who's looking at it? Who do you want to attract? What's it about? What's the subject matter, right? And Melinda says that's brilliant. Is this applicable on all platforms or is it LinkedIn specific? Nope, this is everything, Melinda. And that's what's awesome. If you really want to be ahead of the game, guys, just find 5 to 7 hashtags and use the same ones over and over again. So, and one for your brand. Sorry, if you have a specific brand. So for me, if I'm talking about a product that is specific to tax CEQ, then I'm going to hashtag tax CEQ, right? And then what is tax CEQ? It's PR, it's visibility. So I'm going to use those hashtags. If I'm putting out content for potential one-on-one clients that I want to work with, I'm going to hashtag warrior strategist, and it's going to match up with all like goofy shit that's all over the internet. So pick your 5 to 7 hashtags strategically, and you're going to see better results with your stuff. Now, I'm going to get really, really sneaky. We're still talking about social media. I'm going to talk to you about something I've been running, a low-grade experiment deep in the Rob Garcia laboratory that I haven't really shared with anyone, but I'm going to give you guys kind of like Blue Steel. I'm just hiding it, but I'm not ready to release it to the world yet. So I did a thing. I made a list of the biggest companies in San Diego, and I made a list of all their marketing officers. And slowly I've been putting out content because I align with marketing, because PR falls under marketing in a lot of cases, and people don't know the difference between marketing and PR. They're very, very different skill sets. And I've just been targeting people that are in places where I can make partnerships with. I don't even necessarily want to sell to them. I just want to connect with them and show them a few things. And then business naturally occurs when you connect with people and they get to trust you and they understand where you're coming from. So that's one thing I've been doing. So if you want to work with a certain level of successful professional, start looking up people using key terms. Because honestly, if you have a list of 30 marketing officers or 30 lawyers or 30 dentists or 10 of each, and you're just dripping out content to them, eventually they're going to seek you out. They're like, you have the answers to a lot of stuff I've been trying to figure out. Let's work together. Let's set up a call. Sometimes I just theme an industry. So I'm like, hey, here's how you make a PR plan for your dental office. And then I'll tag like 10 dentists, asking them a question or offering them an ebook, right? And this is a great way to just make the connection. And this is another way you can leverage your social media so you use it more effectively as a lead generation device while ethically creating value and not cold pitching people in their inbox, because they hate that, okay? Social media is more important than you think because it is attraction marketing. And this is a concept a lot of people don't do really well. When your social media is strong and it's optimized and you got hashtags and you got your app mentions and you're tagging like the top 5 to 10 people, the super fans that love your stuff or potential clients that you want to work with. If the value you're putting out is strong, if your content is strong, you're going to have what I call phantom leads in your inbox. And this is how you know you're doing it right. You ever have strangers reach out in your inbox and say, hey, I saw your video. Holy shit, I want to work with you. You're amazing. Let's get on a call, all that stuff. Phantom leads are the sign of a successful social media campaign. Attraction marketing is really powerful still. It's better than buying cold leads. It's better than DMing people that you don't know. Like, hey, do you want to buy some insurance? Or do you want like more SEO or whatever? And they don't care. Attraction marketing in social media, when you do it right, means that you clearly define the solution to somebody's problem. You notice how I haven't pitched anything this entire training? I've been going at this for 30 minutes. All I've been doing is talking about how to improve your social media, right? There is no pitch. But people will see this. They'll reach out to me. They're like, Rob, you have some great solutions. Can you help me with my stuff? There's a lead, pre-qualified, already had the Costco sample. They know what I'm about. They know I know my stuff. That's attraction marketing. So when you're putting out content, focus on the problem that you solve, make it visually appealing, make it look good, and then understand, and this is more of a content like strategy, understand the difference between low value information, medium value, high value. Here we go. Going to blow your mind. Give away what sell how. If you write that down, you're going to make a lot of money. Give away what? You're creating content. Sell. What is information and subject based? Specific subject. How? Tactics, strategies, checklists, how-tos. Sell how with consulting, ebooks, courses, training, working with you. What is your ebooks, your freebies, your content? The stuff I've trained on this one kind of falls in the middle. Mid-value content and mid-value information is resource-based. So if I create a list of business podcasts you can apply to, an ebook with the best websites for first-year business owners, a training guide for whoever with a list of tactics, websites, like an all-in-one business book, that's mid-value information. But if I teach you how to solve the biggest problems in your business with step-by-step checklists, and this is what worked for all my clients, and this is what's going to get you the best results, and it just cuts right to it. It's just like solid client level. That is high-end information that you should sell. So all of this stuff, I know it seems like a lot, but you get better at it when you start thinking about it. So when you're mapping out your social media strategy, I'm going to leave you guys with a couple of really specific tips. Does it have purpose? What's the intended effect? Does it look good? Like, is it interesting? And does it go out? This is the important one. Does it go out to a connected audience? Is there a Melinda Enfinger that is watching this and taking notes and engaging? Is there a Tamara Romeo sipping her coffee and planning her takeover of San Diego, getting value from this content? Is there a Joanne Angelberry Cologne joining me from the East Coast, engaging? Right. That's the power of a connected audience. I know most of the people watching my stuff. I know what's going on in their lives. It's like being plugged into the Matrix. And guess what? A connected audience is the greatest thing in the world. I create value for them by shouting out what they do. They create value for me by sharing my stuff, throwing a like, tagging someone that would find value from this. And it's a nice, harmonious reciprocation. This is how you create the connected audience. Are you wishing people a happy birthday in the morning? Are you having active conversations with people that create value? Are you thinking of people when you don't have to, in the context of, oh, hey, this person would benefit from this article I just read. I'm going to send it to them. Hey, this might help you with this, whatever you're working on. Do you know what's going on in their lives? So building a connected audience does take some extra hours. It does take some work. But guess what? Connected audiences buy from you. They actively engage in your stuff. They will share your content. Always try and connect with your audience. And we got Joe Nicasio. What's going on, Joe? All right. That should do it for now. Like I said, if you guys don't feel like you're getting the attention on social media that you deserve, you're not getting engagement, people aren't talking to you, there's a lot of variables that you can mess with. Besides making your stuff look really good, think about the time you're posting. Think about if you're tagging people. Start looking at your strategic use of hashtags, and then ask if it's got a person and who it benefits. Because a lot of people that come to me and they say, hey, my social media kind of sucks, I'm not sure why. It's almost always one of those things. One of those three things we talked about. It's either low quality, like it looks bad, or it's got cheesy effects. If it's a TikTok video, it's boring, or you just have a disconnected audience that, because you've never taken the time to actually get to know people. People like personalization. People like shout outs, right? You notice that I give shout outs to almost everybody that comments if I can see their name. I do this because I genuinely like people that, tune into my stuff. I get to know people. But I also do it because it makes them feel like they're sitting in my living room with me right now, playing my Xbox, drinking my coffee, having a chat with me. Connection, audience connection. All right. That's all I got for today. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Thanks for tuning in. This was a great training. If you have any questions about social media stuff, or you want to know more, you want to fix your social media, check out the Tactical CEQ PR guide, both printed and digital. And if you want the printed guide, $97, fillable worksheets. If you want the digital guide, the best $47 you're ever going to spend. This is over 50 pages long, the best strategies I've come up with in the last 6 years, and a whole bunch of bonus, surprise, sneaky goodies at the end of this book. You'd be surprised. All right. Thanks so much, guys. I'm going to go for my run and then go kick ass today. This is Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist. And as always, stay famous. See you next time.